So, yes, that was a bit of a break in transmission. There was a power surge and it made everything and bubble wrap and stuff. Anyway, hello, I'm back again. I've lost that one person I had, but I'm back again. Yes, well, technology, eh? Technology. Do you like my hat? Took a long time to get here. Look, it's all dented. That was in transit, obviously. So, how are you? How have you been? How is everything? Is there anyone there? No, there isn't. Did you notice I put a video up today? Yes, I did. First time in forever because I was feeling like, oh, what's the point? But I'm here now. Yay! So, hello person. Hello two people. So I'm streaming now. I'm streaming even though there was a break. 3 people. Yay! Faces are cool, aren't they though? Yes, they are cool. Yes, I got this from Kerblam. Obviously. Hello, Ollie. Hello, the vintage throwback. Hello, hello, people that are coming to see me. Waves, 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 waves. Fez! Yes, Fez! I wear a fez now. Yes. So, did you enjoy that? I'm not sure I did, but it was like, oh, this looks like it might be good, and it had a fez, and that's good. Fezes are cool. Fezes are cool, and they are. Yes, they are. But then I am not sure, because in the end it's like, oh yes, we must be slaves to capitalism. Basically, all jobs are better. Any jobs are better than no jobs. Are they though? If you don't have to do them, I mean, automation's probably better, and find something better to do than working in a crappy warehouse. Oh, I said a bad word. Yes. So, do I need a bow tie? I don't know. She didn't have a bow tie. Don't know whether you saw that one today. It came in the post. So, she didn't have a bow tie. So, I don't know. Because obviously it was slightly allegorical with the whole automation. Yes, automation and all stuff like that. But I don't know. I can imagine me cosplaying as the Doctor. I can imagine it very well. Look, I'm doing it. So that's all right. Capitalism. Yes, yeah. So it was just, not sure because, yeah. Oh, I didn't know who the person was that was the woman working in the packing thing with the thing. She was in Vanity Fair, which ties into my other video that I uploaded earlier today in Vauxhall Pleasure Gardens. So yeah, there you go. All continuity, all works out, all everything, synchronicity, it all leads to the same place in the end, doesn't it? Yes, it does. So that's good. Oh, so I don't know, what's everybody up to? Everybody been up to watching Doctor Who? Did you watch it? Does anybody watch it? Is it just me that watches it? Is anybody watching it anymore? Witches next week. Witches are good. Not real witches probably, but is the person that was in it this week in it next week? Because she did look like she was, but I think it must have just been another actress that looked a bit the same. So I thought maybe they were doing another, not Rose, the other one, the big moon-faced one, the big moon-faced companion. What's her name? Yeah, she keep turning up with all different. Yeah, her, Clara. Yeah, they might be doing that with that. Oh, I've lost somebody. Clara. Yeah, exactly, Clara. The moon-faced one. That's it. Gave it all away, didn't it? But I don't know. Really, they do that every now and then, don't they? Hello, Andy. Hello, Philip. Hello, Vintage Throwback. Hello, Ollie. Hello. So I've got 4. It's a miracle. 4 whole people. So yes, capitalism. Basically, oh well, we must let this. It's a good thing. Capitalism and just make the workers work and yes, it works. So I wasn't entirely sure about that, to be honest. I think it was a bit of a confused message in the end. I'm not quite sure what it was trying to say. I think it was trying to say something. Whatever it was, because it's like, oh, evil corporations. Oh, but they're not really evil. It wasn't the corporation that was evil. It was the person trying to get back at the corporation that was evil. It's like, are you sure? Okay, well, I'll let you get away with that then. I suppose I'll have to. So, anyway. So, next week's witches, that's probably going to be better. So, I do like the historical ones more than the silly sci-fi ones. I like sci-fi generally. Hello, it is nice, isn't it? But I don't know whether Doctor Who is a sci-fi. As we were going through this, is it really a sci-fi? I think I had a discussion about what counts as sci-fi, and you know, I think anything dystopian or slightly off the wall probably does count as sci-fi. But some people think that unless it's just got robots and spaceships all the time, it doesn't count as sci-fi. That's obviously a little bit of a narrow definition. But I used to work with an editor when I was working in magazines. I said that he did, I think I went through this last week, that didn't think that anything that had any people in it or dealt with people at all was sci-fi. So, with the Doctor Who is not. Daleks, I don't think the Daleks are coming into it. They did say none of the old monsters this season. So, if there are Daleks, maybe in the New Year's episode, who knows? You want Daleks, you should make a Dalek. Did I ever say that I visited somebody's house once and they had a Dalek in their shed? It was a big shed. It was more of like a sort of stables, really. But a whole Dalek. They had a Dalek. I know. Why? They must have spent a fortune on it. It was a real Dalek. It wasn't a replica of a Dalek. They'd actually bought one of the old ones from the old series. They're quite big and clunky. Not as big as the... I think they're quite small relatively, but they're still quite big. But not as big as the... I think... Are they bigger now? Yeah, the ones that they have recently, not in this series, are bigger. But it's still very big. Big enough to climb into. I think they probably did climb into it every day, pretend they were a Dalek, go around their little homestead. Probably. I don't know. I don't know what they do on their off days. So yes, Doctor Who. Fez is. I've got a Fez now, so that's good. So that was something. The Fez was good. What I did, because I'd already seen the traily bit, which was like the first 4 minutes. Yes, they probably will, but I don't know, because I think it's probably generic now, bubble wrap. I don't think any specific person. I think it's run out of copyright, hasn't it? So or patent, so anyone can make it. So I don't know, because it was in Red Dwarf, wasn't it? It's stress sheet, paint it red and stress sheet. So yeah, weaponized bubble wrap is quite. It was big fat bubble wrap. It wasn't the tiny ones. So yeah. I don't know what that was, because it was like several people died and they didn't need to die, and they died indirectly because of the Doctor interfering, really. So what shall we say about that? I don't know. What was I saying? I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I was going before the bubble wrap. Red Dwarf. No, before Red Dwarf. What was I saying? Something about a thing. I can't even remember now. I'm going mad. Sonic screwdriver. Yes, the sonic screwdriver is very, very useful now, isn't it? Yeah. So, yes, obviously, 1984 and Brave New World, going back on that, they are counting as dystopian. They are science fiction, quite a broad church. It's not, Broadchurch isn't science fiction. Probably not anyway. But, was there, all right, a bubble wrap's villain, apparently. Okay. Yes. So it's quite a loose sort of conglomeration of different things is sci-fi. So I think it does count as sci-fi. But I was going to say something and I can't remember what it was. Oh, I know. I was watching the first 5 minutes of it yesterday, and then I was watching it and I suddenly realised that I thought that Bradley Walsh and what's his name? Ian? No. The guy that's in... Yeah. The guy that is in Would I Lie to You, that has got a sitcom, Not Going Out. Lee Mack. Lee Mack, I thought was the same person as Bradley Walsh, which I know he's not, and he's got a different accent, and he's got a different face, and he's a different person. But he's vaguely the same, and I think in my head, even though I knew they were different people, the first 5 minutes, and he talked to the robot, and I thought, oh, Bradley Walsh's character's already got a job. And then I went, hang on a minute, what? No, what? That's Lee Mack. Oh, I thought Lee Mack's not the same person as Bradley Walsh, is he? I always thought he was, even though I didn't know he was, even though I knew he wasn't. Somehow in my head they were the same person. So I think they actually are the same person, just with a different face and a different voice and a different body in different places. But they were in the same place at the same time. And it was the first time, but they were in the same scene. And it could have been trick photography, really, couldn't it? Yeah, that's probably what it was. So, yeah, it's the same. Another two people that I always think, Brian Connolly, and he was in EastEnders for a while, and he's also got a different accent. He's somebody like that. Oh, he was a Butlins Blue Coat, I think. I can't remember who he is even now. He's got curly hair, and he was in EastEnders. Do you know what he is? Do you know who he is? He's not Brian Connolly, but in my head, he's the same. Shane Ritchie, exactly. Shane Ritchie. Shane Ritchie and Brian Connolly are the same person, in the same way that Lee Mack is the same person as Bradley Walsh. They just are. They might say, no, we're different people, Elise. If they ever talk to me, which they're not going to now, because I think they're the same person, and, they couldn't at the same time, because they might argue that they're different people, but I know differently, really. Like, like the way that Keira Knightley was like a double for Natalie Portman in that Star Wars film. Yeah. Really, she's the same person. Apart from the Habsburg jaw. She's got a slightly more Habsburg jaw than Natalie Portman. But that's sort of when she had all the makeup on. She was Queen Amidala. You couldn't tell the difference, could you? No, because she's the same person. Fact. There's a lot of people that are the same person, but those are some of the notable ones. And the fact I can't ever, when there's all of the Chris's, and there's all of the Bradleys, and then there's all of the all Bradleys are the same. Bradley Walsh, same as all the other Bradleys, really, and then so Lee Mack on top of that, another layer, really, and all of them, same people. Shane Ritchie, yes. You have that same problem with Doctor Who. Sorry, I'm losing the thread of this. I'm losing the thread of everything, basically. Yeah. I had a dream about Shane Ritchie once, and it was horrible. I think I was auditioning to be a Blue Coat at the time, and he just had a big van of manure, but it might have been Brian Connolly, and it was a dream anyway, and they made me eat it. So I don't know what that means in terms of, but it was a horrible dream, and I woke up going, so I've never really forgiven Brian Connolly / Shane Ritchie for that, even though they weren't really responsible. Maybe Bradley Walsh was in there too, and Lee Mack, even though Lee Mack at that point probably wasn't really as well known. I know that Bradley Walsh was. Somebody's talking next door. It's like screaming that I'm probably talking too loudly. They're like, oh, stop talking about that. Right, I'll come over here. Maybe that'll be slightly further away from the wall and they won't scream at me. Or maybe not. So how has everybody been this fine and dandy week? I haven't really done much this week, except what did I do? I made that video and also went to see a friend of mine in a show. He did a he did a drag course, and I was obviously expecting traditional drag, but he was actually Henrietta VIII, so he's basically Henry VIII, and he did a load of poems, and so it's quite interesting. I like that. And in fact, the other people, there was a guy that was dressed in a big sort of Theresa May puppet, and he just danced around and lip synced to Labyrinth, and then stripped off, and he was wearing like a little baby blue sort of dressy thing, I suppose it was, and he had Theresa May attached to him in a certain place. So that was quite interesting. It wasn't what you would think of when you think of a drag show. You think of RuPaul's fairly standard Even the ones that are a little bit out there, they're fairly standard. They just dress in a wig and yeah, whatever. But these were all very strange. There was also somebody called Bunny Darko who was basically he just lip synced to bits from Donnie Darko dressed as a leather bunny. Yeah. So yeah, probably Theresa May because apparently the guy that was dressed as had the Theresa May puppet and he was really good. It was in Labyrinth there's like a big puppet that's sort of like that's got all its possessions on its back. Well, it was like that only with Theresa May at the front. So it's like Theresa May, and then he stripped off and Theresa May was still there. But that was very good. But he was because they'd rehearsed. I think he probably did wear kitten heels. He wasn't. Theresa May was attached to him just to be yeah anyway, and he was wearing the big puppet but the person that was the course leader earlier on in the day because it was Thursday told him that Theresa May had resigned and he apparently was very very upset and panicking like oh no I brought this all the way here and it was really big and heavy really elaborate it was an amazing puppet so that was good so I would recommend going to see these things. There was also somebody called Aubrey Jean who basically did stuff about vegetables. I was like, okay, but obviously different to my stuff about vegetables because I'm not a drag queen, as far as I know. Or am I? I don't know. Anyway, no. Anyway, that was quite interesting. And what else? There was some other people there. Anyway, they were doing a course, so it wasn't really traditional what you would expect, really. Plagiarism, yes. It was interesting though. Oh, there was somebody else doing some poems and stuff. Yes. So maybe I thought maybe I should like resurrect Mike Twonk and do a sort of do something about Mike Twonk because he just sort of he went back in his box, back in his plumbing box. Do you remember Mike Twonk? Yeah. Theresa May's problem. Yes. I don't know what's happening with that. I'm a bit worried because in a sensible world, everyone would go, well, we won't do that anymore. Doesn't sound like it's a good idea. It's really not going to go well. Let's just call it all off. Let's call the whole thing off. Now, a normal person would go, yes, it's not going to work. Let's stop it. But obviously that's not what's going to happen. So I'm just going to have to keep collecting cans of beans and earrings off the street and hope I can melt them down for ready cash when the apocalypse comes, which is inevitable very soon. Yay. So yeah, who knows what's going to happen with all of this. It's all very worrying, but maybe we can all work in a big center of delivery on an alien planet, and that will solve it. Capitalism. Yay, capitalism. Woo, woo, woo. Do you? Oh, well, I suppose if you'll make 40, 50 to 1. See, is that really worth it, though? 40 or 50 to 1. You will make a pile of cash, but you'll lose it all because the pound will be worth nothing. So you'll sort of wish that you hadn't got your bet, really, won't you? Yes. Is it going to be worth anything? Because like Bitcoin went down this week. You'd think, oh, that's a safe haven. And because the pound is not very strong against the dollar, maybe Bitcoin would go up and silver would go up. And if you've like found some sort of way to invest in something else, that would go up. But no, it hasn't. Beans, they will go up. That is what you will invest in the future is cans of beans. That is a certain... Make sure you've got a can opener though, because otherwise you'll be bashing against a rock trying to open it. And that will never do. Or you can get some of those explosive bubble wraps. Yeah, and that's how you can open your cans of beans in the future. In the future, we'll all be doing future-y things. Yes, but... There won't be vast winnings though, will they, Tux the Penguin? There won't be vast winnings when the pound's worth nothing. You'll go, right, my £1 million, that can get a can of beans. You're going to get one can of beans with your £1 million, and then you'll be, oh no, I didn't really get what I wished for, but I did get what, be careful what you wish for, I think is what I'm saying here. Be very careful what you wish for, because what you wish for might not be what you actually want. Yes, so silver and gold beans, silver and gold beans. That's the only thing that's going to keep you in the manner. I've got a compost heap, so I'm going to be fine. The squirrels got into it the other day. The squirrels tried to take all my compost, like my orange peels and my bits of onion and all stuff. That will never do, because what will I eat if the squirrels have eaten my compost heap? That's all I'm going to have. That's all any of us are going to have. The reason I've got this compost heap is my local council, Barnet Council, have decided to stop taking, yes, I am saying that about squirrels. They've started to stop taking away the food waste. Even though it's a statutory, it's going to be statutory, not a right, requirement in a year, and they were already doing it. They've decided to save money by not doing it for the next year and a half. And then giving you lots of, because nobody will have the repositories to collect it by then, so they'll have to pay money to give you that. Or what they probably think, it's a Tory-run council, what they probably think is, oh well, society will have collapsed by then, we won't have to do it. So that's why I've got a compost heap, and that's why the rubbish isn't being collected already. And that's what they didn't. They changed the rubbish collection day, and then they didn't collect the rubbish, and they're not collecting the food waste. But that's all right, because I'm going to need that food waste and need that rubbish to make my big, like that man that did the act with the Theresa May. I'm going to have to collect it all and have it on my back in the labyrinth way and dance magic dance while Theresa May's attached to things. Probably. Who can say? Yes, this has all gone a bit off, because I've not really got anything to say about that Doctor Who. Really? I could try hard, but I can't. It was just like, oh. Yes, exactly. And the holes in the pavement, I'm surprised. There's like, they dig up the trees and then they leave a big hump, so you sort of go in the dark, you go, wow, because there's just a big lumpy hump and big holes in the pavement, and all the roads are cracked, and they don't fix them. And there was a leak in the street the other day, and that's not the council, that's the actually Thames Water. There was a giant leak outside one of the bookmakers, William Hill I think it was, and it was there for 3 weeks, and we were just going to report it, and then we went up the road and somebody must have already reported it, or it just ran out of water, which is probably what is more likely, that nobody fixed it, the hole was still there, it just ran out of water, or somebody decided to turn the water off for the whole street. It's an apocalypse already. We don't even have to wait until like March, it's already a disaster. No rubbish being collected, and there's big holes in the street, and there's water running down, flowing down like a river. We're not going to have anything left by next week, let alone next year. So yes, we should all go into space and work for Julie Hesmondhaugh, who was quite a nice person. She's a nice boss, but you know, I'm not sure Kerblam is the sort of company you really want to work for. But I suppose if that's our future, then that's what we've got to look forward to. That and Philip's story, message retracted. Oh, I wonder what you said. I don't know. I didn't see it. Anyway. Yes, he said something and then he retracted it. Oh, it could have been anything. So I'll just round it all off now by saying thank you for the 7 people and watched, and the 4 people that have clicked like. That's very helpful. Oh, yes. Don't want to put libelous things, especially since I will be held responsible. No. That's very sensible. Ooh, mystery. So, in conclusion, apparently Doctor Who thinks capitalism is good now. Yay, Doctor Who. So that's gone down with the ship along with everything else in this lovely country that we have got back. Wow, sovereign nation. Yay. Nobody's going to come here because nobody wants to come here, because why would anybody come here anymore when you can't even buy a can of beans for your 50-to-1 bet, probably. And I hope nobody had Bitcoin, because it's not worth anything anymore, or if you did have it, that you sold it at the peak, because it's Article 13? What's Article 13? I've missed that thing. Anyway, Article 50. Is it Article 13? Article, I suppose Article 1 to... What are Articles 1 to 49? I haven't read them. Sovereign nation. Yes, one sovereign. But one sovereign is worth loads of money. It's like £256 if you get a gold sovereign. And that's a bit of gold that will be worth the whole of every, you know, a million billion pounds isn't going to be worth one gold sovereign because, you know, maybe gold will keep its value. Maybe. And then you won't be able to get any. Yeah, somebody said that in some countries, not that much for a country, but, you know, apparently in some countries you can get like a house with an ounce of silver. Maybe you can get the whole of Britain for half a sovereign by next week. Yay. Oh, I see. Okay, right. Anyway, Nigel Farage. What a farrago. 1 guinea. 1 guinea is a pound and a penny, isn't it? If only we all had a guinea, then we could survive the apocalypse. But we haven't, have we? Nobody has. Or have we? We could get some of that lovely bubble wrap and explode ourselves. Yay. 21 shillings. Ooh, 21 shillings is a lot. Oh, 21 shillings. I don't know how much is a shilling worth? 5p? I don't know. They did decimalisation before I was born, so I'm not entirely sure. Although I do have half a crown that's made of silver that I found in a box. And it's got one of the king's heads on it. George or Edward. One of them. Back when Rees... Yes. Yes, Rees-Mogg. And his lovely disaster economics. He's really looking up. He's gonna be quids in, isn't he? Yay! Rees-Mogg. That sounds like a cute name. Like it should be like some sort of little panda, little cartoon panda. Oh, Rees-Mogg, go, climb a tree, Rees-Mogg. Eat some. I can't remember what pandas eat. Bamboo. Eat some bamboo, Rees-Mogg. Go on. Stuff yourself with it. Go on. Anyway, I will go now. Hopefully next week's Doctor Who will be worth more than the talking point that I've been talking about, because it's really not been what I've been talking about, because there's nothing to talk about. It was alright. Yes, it should be. Quite right too. Anyway, I'll leave you there and I'll go and I'll put my fez in a box. I'll take the wig off. Why? It was a wig. Just washed my hair again, so it's wet hair underneath that wig. And I will go. So, bye-bye. I'll see you presently. Bye-bye. Have a lovely week. See you. Bye-bye.